Today, Timor-Leste has reasonable cash flow from the Timor Sea, and we're discovering that actually money is not everything, particularly when we don't have expertise, human resources that are highly trained and experienced. Building a nation state out of the ashes of destruction is not easy. In our situation by '99, everything was destroyed. And there was no public administration to speak of, no economy to speak of. And the Security Council of the UN wanted no more than 2 years transition administration in Timor to prepare the country for independence. When I was recently in New York, well, a year ago, speaking to the Security Council, after my formal written notes, I ad-lib and asked the Security Council members to think, how long does it take to have a small Chinese takeaway restaurant food business in Manhattan being viable? I never ran a takeaway business, but I imagine at least 2-3 years. And can you imagine making a country viable in 2 years? We had basically what you can call, I call a sketch of a country, a skeleton of a country. You cannot seriously build a viable nation state in 2 years. We inherited a very basic thing of a state, and we had to build up from them with much international assistance continuing at the time. Create an economy, creating a police, a defense force, various ministries, at the same time addressing internal problems like reconciliation, normalization of relations with Indonesia, and so on and so on. So that was a huge task for a group of inexperienced people. That's why I say, understand, forgive us, if 6 years later we still have numerous challenges and setbacks. It's normal, but we are not losing hope. Quite the contrary, we are even more animated to encourage to push forward. We are blessed by God with oil and gas resources. Not really like Qatar or Kuwait or Brunei, not by any stretch of imagination, but maybe in 10 years we could be. Today we get well over $100 million to $200 million US a month in oil and gas revenues from Bayu Undan, which we share with Australia. On top of that, for fiscal year 2008, which we have changed the fiscal year now following the calendar year, January to December, we get maybe close to $200 million in aid. For the next 5 years at least, it is the Timorese government that has to be the largest investor in the country. We have money from the petroleum fund. By the end of this year, we should have $3 billion in our petroleum account. The petroleum fund, most of it invests in very low interest paid US Treasury bonds. And way back 5 years ago, I was already alerting, I was foreign minister alerting my colleagues to pay attention to the coming devaluation of the US dollar, to the coming increase in oil prices. Let's start diversifying our investment portfolio. Well, no one listened. Today, almost 100% of our money is invested in US Treasury bonds. With the depreciation of the dollar, $130 per barrel for us in terms of dollar purchasing power means maybe $80. And the oil price tends to increase in the next few months. I don't know, I'm not an economist, but it doesn't take too much intelligence to realize that with the dollar depreciating, more likely the oil price will go up. And that means also cost of living in Timor and in many developing countries. The next few months, we are going to see a lot of instability in many developing countries.